Welcome to the Sunday Showcase, an informal stage reading of new works by local playwrights. You have joined us today for A Man in the Meadow by Kenneth Jenks. So I'm going to bring him on to ask him a question or two really quickly. Hi, Kenneth.
Hello, Amanda.
Hi. So I just wanted to ask you, this show is a memory play about your life. And so I just wanted to kind of ask why did you decide to write a play about your past and your life?
Well, that's a long story because it began a long time ago. When I was in my 30s, I realized my life wasn't working. As you can tell, it's a long time ago. I could see that my life was not working, and many people helped me. Several groups I worked with, and a German hypnotist actually gave me the clue that the problem was in my relationship with my father, my grandmother, and my mother. So I looked further into that, and over a few years, this play came out of the work I'd been doing. Now, that's an older, longer version. I have streamlined it over the years. I have not left the play. I'm still trying to fix it, trying to get it right. And in the Majestic Theater's Playwrights Lab workshop, Christina White and John Byrne created that. That was very helpful. I was able to have it read in pieces and eventually got it down to this form, which I think is the best it's had yet. It's I don't know if that got at the answer to your question, but I have felt a great release from the earlier difficulties I had with my relationships with my father, grandmother, and mother.
Well, that's awesome. All right, well, I'll leave it to you to take it away to kind of set the stage at the beginning, and then we'll get going. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all so much. Man in the Meadow, the characters are Kenneth, myself, Alonzo, my father, Delina, my grandmother, Jack, my dog, my wonderful dog, High Pockets, a good cowboy friend, my mom, Joanne, a schoolmate, and a sparrow. The time is now. The stage containing a jungle gym piece of playground equipment, and there's a plank over two sawhorses. At the beginning, Kenneth enters and climbs onto the jungle gym and speaks to the audience.
Hello, my name is Kenneth. I want to tell you what it was like growing up in the small town, Lyman, Wyoming, in the years between the Great Depression of the 1930s and World War II. You might not think that's worth talking about nowadays when we're so torn up with all that seems to be.
Don't apologize. Alonzo enters wearing a slouch hat, a plaid shirt. He slams a campfire blackened coffee pot on the plank.
Don't apologize.
Pardon me, I just want to understand what happened in those years. I know that these present years are...
Why are you apologizing?
Was I apologizing?
What are you trying to say?
I don't know.
Say it.
I can't. Help me, Daddy.
Bust loose.
I would like to.
Why don't you? What are you afraid of?
There's this red net here behind my eyes. It's a net of pulsing living membrane, a net of blood.
That's nothing to be afraid of, Kenneth. Blood is what makes us what we are. It makes my love for you.
But Daddy.
I'm sorry, Kenneth. That's all the time I have. I've got to go.
Alonzo exits, leaving the coffee pot on the plank.
A pulsing red net of blood.
Delina enters.
What are you saying about blood?
Grandma, I'm trying to understand something.
All we need to understand is in the scriptures. How many times do I have to tell you, Kenneth?
I'm sorry, Grandma.
You should be. I am doing everything I can, showing you how to use the simple language of our gospel. Now, what were you saying about some red net and blood?
I keep seeing it in my dreams. And I wake up in tears. I'm trying to understand that.
Well, all I know is that blood is stronger than tears. Don't fret about it. Just practice your penmanship. Improve your disgraceful handwriting. You are having bad dreams because you watch too many motion picture shows. Practice your penmanship.
Lina exits.
I'm sorry, Grandma. I will try to do what you say, but the picture shows are right here in my father's theater. Indeed, we lived in a movie theater. My father built it. We lived in 3 rooms that he built right inside the Gem Theater of Lyman, Wyoming. My mother, my father, and I, and well, Gene Autry and Tom Mix and their horses, we were so happy. Now I'm 3 years old. My father has just put a photographic plate into his big black portrait camera. What are you doing, Daddy?
Alonzo, wearing a dress shirt and a tie, a hat, enters, whistling an energetic bit of music. He places a large black box on the plank.
I am going to make a photograph of just the 2 of us, Kenneth.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Now sit still so I can focus on you. Daddy loves to make photographs. Before I built my picture show house here in Lyman, I had a team of horses and a wagon that held all of my photographic equipment. I traveled from Lyman to Evanston, then over to Lake Town and Pickleville, Utah, all along the west shore of Bear Lake, taking pictures of families along the way and their ward houses and steakhouses, all of our Mormon churches, all the way to Montpelier, Idaho.
Did you go to Yellowstone Park where the bears live?
Of course I did.
Can we go there today?
I don't think we can make it today, Kenny, but maybe next Friday we'll go.
Promise? Friday? Go where the bears live.
Promise. As soon as we can, we'll go to the bears' town.
And will we see their houses?
Yes, and their stores.
Do they have picture show houses too?
Yes, and on Sunday, they go out walking with their parasols.
Do they have to go to the barber shop? I don't like to go to the barber shop.
They only go when they want to.
I want to go see the bears today.
Alonzo carries a bulb that's connected by a cord to the box.
You have to be patient until I get this photograph made.
Alonzo sits beside Kenneth on the jungle gym.
We're going to Yellowstone.
Yes, we will. First, I need you to look at that black box over there. Now, I will get you to smile.
They both smile.
And now, with my other hand, I will press the secret magic bulb.
Let me see the magic bulb.
I have to keep it out of the photograph.
What does it do?
It makes the world blossom. See?
A flash of light, Alonzo and Kenneth freeze for an instant.
Well, where are all the blossoms?
Right here, Kenny.
He chucks Kenneth under his chin, gets up and coils up the cord. He leaves the box on the plank.
I've got to pack away my portrait camera, and then I have to go fix a broken take-up reel on my movie projector. I have so many things to do. I don't have enough time. Sometimes I just want to drop everything and just the 2 of us go fishing.
Yes, please.
I know of a meadow up in the Uinta Mountains. It's my secret. I've never seen another person there. I happened onto it one day when I was taking a shortcut from Butte Lake over to Shoshone Creek. A small stream wanders through it, just the right size for you to wade in. You can learn to cast a fly. Yes, I will take you there. It'll be our secret meadow.
Can we go today?
No, there isn't time today. I have so much to do. Daddies aren't supposed to be so busy, are they, Kenny? Got to got to go.
I'll go with you.
No, you have to stay here and take care of things.
What is a heart attack? Daddy, can I go with you?
You have to stay here and look after your mother and my cameras and the show house.
Can I watch all the shows?
Oh my, I don't get any more time. Goodbye, Kenneth, and everything else I was going to say, but things went too fast.
Alonzo exits.
The cemetery in Lyman is on the edge of a sagebrush hill. My father's grave was made in hard, rocky ground. I remember a grave mound of gravel surrounded by cobblestones, sagebrush, and weeds. Back in the town, the banks made short work of grabbing my father's photographic ventures and his other businesses. My mother managed to hang on to the movie house. That was where we lived, along with Gene Autry, Tom Mix, and Will Rogers. Pathé newsreels brought Franklin Delano Roosevelt into our theater so he could work out his remedies for the Great Depression. The Cowboys were my favorite playmates. We couldn't afford a sitter, so after she had put me to bed and gone to the front box office of the theater, I would slip quietly through the front door of our rooms and to my secret niche right at the edge of the screen.
Kenneth looks above him.
People sure look lopsided from this angle. Oh, hey, that's Gene Autry. Boy, was he neat.
He turns to face upstage. A flickering light shines on his back.
I need to get a better view of him.
Hey, little feller. You trying to get into the movies?
Kenneth turns to face the flickering light, shading his eyes with his hand.
Better skedaddle off of there and get back to bed. Your mom will use her wooden spoon on your backside for sure.
The flickering light goes out. Kenneth leans on the gym.
I love the dogs in the movies too. Rin Tin Tin, Lassie, and Pluto. Most of all, I loved my own dog, Jack. My father had given him to me before he left. He was my wonderful puppy, and we grew up together. We liked to go on expeditions looking for my father in the wilderness, which was the pastures outside of Lyman. Sometimes we looked for him in the sky.
Jack enters and leans on the gym with Kenneth.
There sure are pretty clouds out here.
But why do the clouds move across the sky?
Because they want to?
But why?
Because they have to?
But why?
Because they can.
You don't have very good answers.
If you want to hear good answers, Kenneth, you have to ask better questions.
Okay, Jack. Where did my father go?
Let's go back to that other question. I'll see if I can come up with a better answer. Why do clouds move? Well, that cloud way over there, the one that looks like a cow pie,
Okay.
it was clear over there when we started talking about it.
Okay.
Well, there you are.
Where?
That's the answer to your question. The clouds moved because we talked about them.
High Pockets, a tall cowboy, enters.
So this is where you got to.
Hello, High Pockets.
Your mom was worried about you, but I knew if Jack was with you, you'd be all right.
That's right, all right.
Jack won't let nothing happen to you. But you know, we better ski-daddle on out of this field. This here is Barney Anguin's pasture. Barney might not like us being in here. He likes to run his cows in here, and dogs and cows are a bad mix, ain't they, Jack?
I like to taste them.
That's just what I mean. So let's head on back.
He climbs higher on the gym, then takes a bandana out of his pocket and wipes his finger with it. He extends the finger down to Kenneth, who is seated on the gym. Kenneth reaches up to take his finger.
Here we go, little pal of mine.
High Pockets was a cowboy who worked on a ranch a fair ways out of Lyman. He was called High Pockets because he was so tall that I had to reach up to wrap my hand around one of his fingers as we walked across the fields and along the grass-lined paths that were here long before there were sidewalks in Lyman or any place else in the world. This is hard for me to say, High Pockets, but walking here with you, I am truly in love with early summer in Wyoming.
That's real good, little feller.
In love with the sunshine and with you, only I could never say it.
You're a swell little feller.
Why are you a cowboy, High Pockets?
Just 'cause I am, I guess.
My father was a businessman, but he died.
I know that, little pal of mine. I was real sorry about that. Your dad and me, we went fishing lots of times.
I wish he was a cowboy, up as high as you.
High Pockets lets go of Kenneth's hand and climbs down.
Home, home on the range.
I never heard so much silence.
Where the deer and the antelope play.
High Pockets exits. Joanne enters.
Hello, Joanne.
Hello.
Do you remember me?
Sure, you're funny. You're the boy who got in help with the second teacher because you took your shoes off in school.
Oh, I had to, so I could count up to 20 when we did arithmetic.
I stole one of your crayons once because I didn't have any.
Did you ever have any?
Sure, Miss Gross gave me some.
Is it true that you know how to talk in Italian?
We talk Italian at home all the time.
I never heard you say anything in Italian. Say something in Italian.
I don't want to.
I bet you can't.
I did once in the playground, but Billy Edwards rubbed my face in the dirt.
Is it true that your underpants are made out of flour sacks?
I'm not telling.
That's what Billy Edwards said. Chris Condos tied a mirror on his shoe, then stood by you, and he saw them too.
Joanne bows her head.
Why don't you go to our church? When we go from school over to our Mormon seminary class, you, your brother, and the Condoses have to stay behind. I don't even know where you live.
Oh, we live down by the creek, by the Condoses.
That's right. I remember your dad bringing you and your brothers to school in that old red truck. The Condoses would be right behind you in the back of their rusted blue pickup.
I don't like the Condoses.
I know. You would get in fights with them every recess time.
They're Greeks. Greece and Italy are at war.
That's funny. You are the only two families who aren't Mormon, and you fight with each other.
You're funny.
You're funnier than I am.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. How about the day when you threw up on your desk and you had to go sit in the principal's office until your dad came to take you home in that red truck? Home to your farm down by the creek, way out there where nobody knew what appendicitis was, where you died in the middle of the night. You died in the middle of the night out there next to the Condoses, and who were Greek, where your mother makes your underpants out of flour sacks.
And you take your shoes off in school.
She skips away.
Goodbye, Joanne.
He
Goodbye. School is so hard. I don't understand it. Maybe if I talk to Jack, he will understand. Where did you go, Jack? Jack! Here, Jack!
He exits. Mom and Delina enter. Delina is dressed in a long coat and a hat, carrying a small suitcase.
I suppose I should be glad to see that you and Kenneth are getting by at least. Your place could use a bit of tidying up, though. I can pitch in, do what I can.
Yes, Mother. I do appreciate your coming to help. I have my hands full with Kenny and keeping the theater going all by myself. In just the past 2 weeks, I've had 3 proposals of marriage.
Well, take them.
All 3?
Don't you be disrespectful of your mother. You know that I never approved of plural marriage. Your father soon found that out. Let me tell you, are these suitors good members of the church?
They might be. I hardly know them. I see them at sacrament meetings, but they wouldn't give me the time of day. Now they want to marry me. It's not me they're after. They want the theater.
Well, let them have it. Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say.
They have already taken away most of my husband's businesses. I won't let them have this one. I'm keeping it for Kenny, too. I want him to take over his father's theater.
When he grows up, we'll send him to our Latter-day Saints business college.
Where will we find the money? There are days when we don't have enough to eat. But he can always sit in the front row of our theater and enjoy a picture show.
I will get your brother Elijah to butcher a yearling sheep and bring it up.
We need more than a piece of mutton. I need to get out and advertise the movies, get more people into the theater. Just last week, I only had a can of tomato soup for our lunch. No milk to go in it, just water. And when I tried to heat it up, the stove wouldn't light. They had shut off the gas because I couldn't pay the bill.
Well, you made your bed, now lie in it. I warned you against marrying that man. He was too old for you. We all thought he was going to marry my sister Della, as well he should have. He broke her heart by sneaking off with you.
We weren't sneaking off.
Yes, you were. How about the time you went off alone with him in his automobile up Lake Town Canyon? Lucky that I found you out.
We weren't hiding, Mother. We put together a picnic lunch at the Mercantile and told Sister Robinson what we were planning, that we were going to have a picnic up the canyon. We said it to the bishop's wife, right in front of God and everybody.
Yes, I thank God that Bishop Robinson called and told me what you two were up to.
We were up to having a picnic, and we got a surprise, all right. I never expected to see you in a Ford Model T truck.
Well, I'm happy to say that I've never been enslaved behind the steering wheel of one of those devil's contraptions. I got your brother Austin to take me up there in his machine. I don't like the idea of you driving that devilish contrivance of your husband all about Bridger Valley by yourself.
I don't know who's going to put up the posters for the movies if I don't. That devilish contrivance, as you call it, is a fine 1932 Chevrolet coupe with a rumble seat. We can take you for a drive, but you'll have to fight it out with Kenny, who gets to ride in the rumble seat.
There will be no such discussion.
Kenneth and Jack enter.
Speak of the devil.
Hello, Grandma.
Hello, Kenneth. Oh, that dog wants a bath.
Jack tiptoes backwards and then turns and scampers off stage.
You mustn't waste your time gallivanting about with that dog, Kenneth. You are in school now. How are you doing with your times tables?
Times tables?
Oh my. I see I have my work cut out for me. Your poor mother.
You will be a great help. Thank you, Mother.
Mom takes Delina's suitcase and leads her off stage.
I will show Grandma that when I take my shoes off, I can count 2 times as high. Maybe that's what times tables are. Arithmetic was my worst subject at Lyman Elementary. Well, maybe the worst was penmanship. I write with my left hand. The teachers labored to get me to use my right hand in the Parker penmanship method. It was impossible. I could not make the straight lines or the circles required by the Parker method. My grandmother had such beautiful handwriting. Certainly, she would be able to pass that on to me. Alas, even she could not make my straight lines straight or my circles circular. My dainty Mormon grandmother usually lived with her sons on their ranch at the south end of Bear Lake, near Lake Town. My mother could barely manage the theater alone, and she needed help managing me. My grandmother answered the call and did what she could to make me a better Mormon boy.
Kenneth gets down from the gym as Delina enters. He pantomimes holding an object in his hands and then prepares to throw it away. Delina.
Don't throw that away, Kenneth.
Why not?
It is valuable.
It's only a used up jelly jar.
We will use it again next summer. And look, it's not completely empty. I put up that jelly from my very own currant patch. Look further into it. There are remnants there.
Remnants?
There are nutriments in there. We need to get the good of them. Fetch it here.
But it's all dried up.
You mustn't waste nutriments when our neighbors are hungry. Fetch it here, I say.
Kenneth fetches it to her.
Now, here, hold it with this cloth. No, not that way. Here, I'll do it. Now, I'll just pour a little hot water into the jar. There now. And swish it around like this. And what do you have?
I don't know.
Well, drink it, silly.
Why do you call me silly?
Because you are. Here, drink your punch.
Punch?
Yes, that is delicious currant punch. Don't you know anything? Drink it.
Kenneth
Now.
mimes drinking from a bottle.
Now, wasn't that good?
No,
Of course it was.
I don't like it.
Oh, you try a person's patience so. Why, land sakes, when we were children, we would have been tickled to death to have so fine a treat as that.
Well, here, you can have the rest.
Delina mimes drinking, stops, looks at jar.
Well, it just needs a stirring up a bit. What happened to my spoon?
I don't know.
Why don't you, eh? Have you been playing with my wooden spoon again?
No,
Are you fibbing to me?
no.
I know when you are fibbing to me, Kenneth. There is a little bird who tells me. Have you been fibbing to me?
Yes.
Now, don't you feel better? Where is my wooden spoon?
Up on the roof.
On the roof? For land's sake, what's it doing on the roof?
I'll go get it.
No, you don't. Your mother will paddle both of us if you get up on that roof again.
She can't paddle me.
Oh, yes, she can.
She paddles me with the wooden spoon, and the spoon's up on the roof.
We'll see about that. My little bird will help me find another one.
Delina exits. Kenneth climbs to the top of the tower.
I have a secret way to get on the roof. She won't be able to follow me, and I'll hide the spoon even better.
Sparrow climbs quickly up to face Kenneth.
What are you doing up here?
Who are you?
Who are you? I am a sparrow. I live up here.
I bet you're the little bird who's always talking to my grandmother.
I don't know any grandmothers.
If you don't stop telling on me, I'll fix your wagon.
I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about.
Oh, wait. I know you. You are the bird who lives in the nest that is down inside the hole of the wall over there.
That's right.
Being a bird is pretty dangerous, isn't it?
Oh, it's not so bad. You have to be able to fly fast enough to keep away from the cats.
Jack barks at you when you are perched on the clothesline.
Yes, he does bark a lot, doesn't he?
He's protecting me. Jack wouldn't really hurt you, though.
No, I would never complain about your dog. I could complain about the food around here, though. Why don't you put enough out to keep a bird alive?
Oh, that's Grandma. She doesn't like to waste remnants.
Someone should speak to her. We'll starve.
I don't know how to speak to her.
Can't you try? Just a crust of bread can do wonders for my family.
Sometimes I don't eat my crusts. I'll see if I can sneak them out.
Oh, that would be appreciated.
Grandma says a funny poem about you.
Funny in what manner?
Well, it goes like this. Oh, the north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will poor birdie do then, poor thing?
That is not funny.
I didn't used to understand it, but I do now.
How very touching. I hope you get a big bang out of it.
I bet it does get very cold up here on the roof.
We manage quite well, thank you. I've lived in much worse places. Actually, it is quite cozy in behind those loose boards when we get snuggled down in our wee little nests. On a day like today, there's not a care in the world.
Except for the cats.
Yes, the cats.
And Billy Wilson.
Why should I be afraid of Billy Wilson?
Well, Jackie took some baby spugs out of a nest in that tree way over there.
Spugs. What are spugs?
Spugs are you.
Oh no, I am an English sparrow.
We call you Spugs.
I don't care what you call us. We are English sparrows, a very distinguished line of birds. This nest robber you are talking about, was this about a week ago?
Yes.
I saw what he did.
I didn't kill him. Billy did it.
That was you! In the tree with him.
I just watched. I didn't help him.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear me.
No, but Billy's a bad boy, isn't he?
Oh, goodness me. What will we ever do?
Fly away.
Oh, goodness. What will we ever do?
You can fly away. Go on. Fly away.
Sparrow exits as Jack enters.
Here, Jack. Here, boy. Don't you wish we could fly away to heaven?
I can't fly.
What will we do when we grow up?
Grow up?
Get big. Have whiskers.
I am grown up.
Well, what am I going to do?
Just this, I guess.
Yeah, I won't ever leave you, Jack. I'll never go away from Lyman. I really love you.
Then hug me.
I guess we love each other. Why do we have love?
Is that a question like, why do we have mumps?
I don't think so.
I have to already have love to give it to you, and you already have love to give it to me. I think it's like mumps, only it feels better.
No, it's not the same. You just can't give it to everybody. Like some people have had the mumps and you can't give it to them.
Like your grandma's already had the mumps.
She says I shouldn't hug you because you're dirty and that I might get disease germs in my mouth and die. My father hugged you, but he hugged me too and I didn't die. I love you, Jack.
I love you, Kenny.
Oops, here comes Mom.
Mom enters.
Looks like I'm in trouble. I'll meet you over at the irrigation ditch.
Where's my wooden spoon?
What spoon?
You know very well what spoon. Mother told me that you put it on the roof.
Tattletale.
Well, did you?
I guess so.
Well, you better just guess it down.
Well, I can't. I've got to go give Jack a bath in the irrigation ditch so he won't be so dirty.
If you do that, I will have to give you a bath. I don't know why you're always playing in that dirty ditch.
Charlie Phillips and I race boats in the ditch.
You have to find something better to do.
There is nothing else to do.
What to do, mildew?
That's not funny.
You'll think funny if you don't get up on the roof and get that spoon.
You said you would paddle me with the spoon if I ever got on the roof.
You little Dickens, I don't have time to stand here and argue with you. I've got to vacuum the theater before the show tonight. You get up there right now. Do you want me to get a willow switch?
No. I'll get the spoon if you promise not to paddle me with it.
I have better things to do. I'll have to give it a good scrub. Heaven knows what kind of disease germs it will have on it.
She can't paddle me now. Up on the roof, I can see all over town. The water tower, the barber shop. Boy, that barber sure gives close haircuts. There's Mr. Pierce's blacksmith shop. He's shoeing horses right now. I can smell the hot irons and the roses and the smoke from the forge. Mr. Pierce tried to plant grass on my father's grave, but it never grew. He even took hunks of grass from his own lawn and planted them there, but they died too. There's the post office where Johnny Anguin's mother works. Johnny is playing with his dog Happy on the steps of the post office. Neither of them won, but Jack could stand up better than Happy. Back in our yard, there's my father's ice house. It was cool in the summer, filled of wet sawdust, but now it's drying out because nobody puts ice in it anymore. Someday, someone will tear it down and the sawdust will blow back up into the mountains where it belongs.
Alonzo enters.
You talk a lot, don't you?
Yes.
What are you trying to say? Say it.
I can't.
Yes, you can. Say it.
Delina enters with a large, flat cardboard box. She places it on the planks as Alonzo exits.
Kenneth, I need you to help me with this.
Kenneth descends and helps her open the box and remove papers.
These are my genealogical papers, Kenneth. I am going to teach you how to write up our family's genealogy.
She arranges papers on the plank. She removes the coffee pot and the camera.
Get the truck out of here.
She holds up a large envelope.
This is our genealogy for Louisa Maria Austin Cheney.
Why did she have so many names?
Ooh. Well, Louisa Marie were her given names. Austin was her maiden name, and Cheney was the name she was given by her husband.
Will my name get bigger when I get married?
No, you have the priesthood of the Latter-day Saints, so you will keep your full name for all time and eternity. Remember to always use your full name. Don't drop your middle name the way so many people do nowadays. I will be very upset with you if I find that you are not using your full name.
I will.
You must promise.
I promise to do that.
And don't abbreviate your middle name to an initial. You must use your whole name.
I promise.
You must not let your playmates address you by any other name. I've heard them call you some terrible nickname. I don't remember what it was.
Was it Skinny?
I don't want to remember what it was. This is a disgusting practice. The next time they call you that, you must refuse to answer, and you must tell them to use your full name.
Do they have to use my middle name?
It's all right for your playmates to call you by either of your given names, but they must choose one or the other. They are the names given to you by your mother and father, and they are to be treated with respect. The Old Testament says that you are to honor your father and your mother.
But what about when your father is not here?
Both of my parents are in heaven, and I respect them with every deed I do. My mother gave me her name.
She opens an envelope.
This is the record of how she became one of the first pioneers of Utah's Bear Lake Valley. I want you to help me organize the papers, and you can write the full story.
She and Kenneth lay the papers on the planks. Delina holds up one.
This is the story of how my mother came from England as a convert to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You mean the Mormons?
I meant exactly what I said, but yes, Mormon is another name for us, from the Book of Mormon, the very book that I gave you for your birthday.
Jack enters.
You said you were going to meet me at the ditch.
I'm busy, Jack. Out of the way.
Out of the way! Out of the way!
The planks, grumbling.
My mother arrived in New York City, where a group of saints were assembled to make the trip to Zion.
To Zion?
To Zion, to Utah.
Is Zion in Utah?
Kenneth, how many times must I tell you? Utah is Zion. Zion is Utah and some of Idaho and Wyoming.
So Lyman is in Zion?
There are days when I honestly don't think so, but yes, we are in Zion. Many of the saints traveled here with oxen wagons and hand carts. It was an arduous journey, and many died along the way. The company that my mother joined in New York decided to travel a different way. Most of their journey would be aboard the good ship Brooklyn, sailing around Cape Horn to California. The storms around the Horn at the southern tip of South America were exceedingly dangerous.
The Horn?
He makes a horn coming out of his forehead with his fists and points it at Jack. Jack shows his teeth and growls.
Exceedingly dangerous.
Yes. More than once, the captain, who was not of the saints, asked for their intercession in prayer as the ship wallowed in terrible seas. Their prayers were answered. After 6 months at sea, the good ship Brooklyn entered the port of Yerba Buena on the north coast of California. It's called San Francisco now, but when your great-grandmother arrived, it was a tiny seaport with the Spanish name Yerba Buena. That means fair pastures.
Kenneth lies next to Jack, rubbing up his hair.
Fair pastures, yes.
And that is where the young woman who would become my mother began her overland journey to the kingdom of Zion.
She didn't like the fair pastures?
Her mission was to join the saints. She was a gifted horsewoman. She rode a horse over the Sierra Mountains, across the Nevada desert, across the dreaded Salt Flats into the valley of the Great Salt Lake to Salt Lake City.
We've never been there.
Well, your great-grandmother didn't stay long. Brigham Young was sending the newly arrived saints out to settle new communities. She and her new husband were sent to Centerville, and that is where I was born.
I thought you were born in the kitchen of the big house at the ranch at the edge of Bear Lake.
No, that's where you were born. I get so out of patience with you. Our house at the ranch wasn't even thought of then. We lived for a while in Centerville, and that is where we were when Brigham Young sent us on, up to Bear Lake Valley to settle new land. We traveled there by an ox-drawn wagon when I was a very young girl. We brought a few head of cattle with us over the Wasatch Mountains. Everything else we had was in that wagon.
My father had a wagon that he drove along the shore of Bear Lake, making photographs. That is where he met my mother.
And don't I know that story very well enough? Thank you so much. And look how that turned out. I don't know why I waste my time trying to teach you anything. I might as well be back home, talking to a post in my currant patch. You are such a dunce. You make me so put out I could have a fit. All you do all summer long is gallivant all over the countryside with that mangy dog of yours. When you aren't gallivanting, you're both lying about underfoot. A body doesn't know where to put a foot down, Kenneth. You've got to keep that dog out of the house.
But I can't keep Jack out of the house. He lives here too.
Not with me, he doesn't. He's dirty, he smells bad, and he's always underfoot.
But I love him.
Get out from there right now.
Kenneth gets up and bangs his head on the planks.
Oh, damn it.
Just a minute, young man. Did you say what I thought I heard you say?
Damn it.
Just 1 minute, young man. Did you say what I thought I heard you say?
Yeah, damn it.
Kenneth, language that was given to us by our Heavenly Father. It is a tool by which we commune with other people and with our Heavenly Father. Would you use profanity in your prayers?
No.
I should hope not. So why do you use it when you talk to me? My mother taught me that our language is a graceful and beautiful gift. It is the mirror of our mind and must reflect only clean and perfect thoughts. Do you want your mirror to reflect evil and ugly thoughts?
No.
But that is what I see when I hear that ugly word, Kenneth. You must have learned that word from one of your playmates. Which of them uses that word?
I can't remember.
I can.
Kenneth kicked at him.
Well, let it be for now. But you must remember, from this day forward, for the rest of your life, you will persevere in clean and noble thoughts. Your language will reflect that every day in every way. What would you say to that?
Yes.
When you get angry, and I know you will get angry. Little boys do that. Even grown men sometimes let their tempers get away from them. I have seen that. I don't expect you to be entirely perfect, but that must be your intent. When you get so vexed that you must say something, you can use a word that I will give you now, which you must never forget. Burn it into your memory as though your life depended on it. For indeed, your heavenly life does depend on it. The salvation of your immortal soul depends on it. Promise.
I promise.
The word is darn. When you lose your temper, say darn. It will help you remember the word by keeping an image of me darning your sock. If I prick my finger, I say, darn it. Say it now.
Darn.
Darn?
If you are so angry that you must say more, say, darn it to heck.
Darn it to heck.
Darn it All to heck and back.
Now, isn't that better than using that evil word you used before?
Yes.
You see, you can be a good boy when you set your mind to it. Now, let us set our two minds onto genealogy again.
He picks up papers. Jack groans.
Ah, yes. When your grandfather had dealings with members of Chief Washaki's Shoshone tribe in the spring of 1881, his tribes had a rendezvous with fur traders on the shore of Bear Lake. I climbed up onto a hill at the edge of our ranch and counted over 1,000 campfires. I tell you, we were plenty frightened.
Did they attack the Saints?
No, Chief Washaki saw that what happened to the tribes who tried to stop our settlements. His own son was killed in a battle. He wanted no more battles. He was willing to bargain with government in Washington, D.C. for peace. The day after I saw their campfires, 3 Shoshone men on horseback came to our ranch. They communicated to your grandfather that they had come in peace and they wished to bargain. They would let us be in exchange for one cow. Your grandfather agreed and let them take their pick. They took their pick and left us in peace. Our prayers had been answered.
Jack. Yes.
That evening, there was a wonderful red sunset, a sign of our Heavenly Father's promise to us.
His promise to make peace with the Shoshones?
No, his promise that the world would soon end in fire.
And in fire? How soon?
In these latter days, and only the latter-day saints shall be saved. That is why I wish to have all my papers in order for every member of our family, and why I ask you to help me so that you will be saved from the heavenly fires.
I'll help you. I'll help you.
Before I let you write on these papers, you must improve your handwriting. You really have to practice your penmanship more diligently. I would be ashamed to claim ownership of those lessons of yours. I don't know what you do in school all day. Your teacher says that you take your shoes off.
Arithmetic is so hard. That's the only way I can count to 20.
You little dunce.
Delina picks up the box and begins to exit. The box blocks her view and she doesn't see Jack moving out from under the planks. She falls over him. Her face is over the box as blood appears on the box.
Grandma! No! Mom, help! Grandma, no! Help!
Mom appears, bends over her.
It's her head. She split open her temple.
No, don't die. Heavenly Father, please don't let her die.
Get me a clean washcloth. Hurry. Hurry up. Hurry. How did she fall?
He gives a cloth to Mom.
Kenneth, how did she fall?
She fell over Jack. She was carrying her genealogical papers and couldn't see him.
Oh, that damn dog. Mother asked you to keep him out of the house. I ought to beat the socks off of both of you.
Kenneth grabs Jack by his collar and shoves him off stage.
Darn you all to heck, Jack. I threw him out. He's gone. Oh, Grandma, don't die. You're right. My dog is awful. Just say what you want. I'll make him stay outside. I'll whip him.
Jack re-enters. As he talks, Mom puts the box on the plank, helps Delina up. They exit.
Now, wait a minute.
Just don't die. I'll whip him.
Just one damn minute. I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. But it was no accident every time she kicked me. That little old lady has those damn pointy shoes. Yes, damned, devil pointed shoes. And they hurt like the very devil. Let her kick you once and see how you feel.
Please, Grandma, just get better.
If I hear that story about her mother riding away from fair pastures again, I'll bite her. I swear it. I'm going to find my own fair pasture right now.
Jack exits. Kenneth gets to his feet from his prayer position.
Grandma got better right away. Maybe my prayers helped her. There were a lot of prayers being said around Lyman at that time. The husband of my third grade teacher was flying a fighter plane over Germany. We prayed for all the men who had left Lyman to be in the armed forces. The jukebox at the Speedway Inn was playing Coming In on a Wing and a Prayer, and There's a Star-Spangled Banner Waving Somewhere. I saw where someone had written in the dust on the back of a Greyhound bus, I'll be seeing you. I found significance in the fact that the British stronghold in Singapore fell to the Japanese on my grandmother's birthday.
Delina enters, dressed in a coat and a hat, bandage on her forehead.
I've decided I can't do anything with you, Kenneth. I'm just wasting my time here. I'm going home to the ranch where I can take care of my own garden for a change. It needs me more than you do. You and that dog might just as well sit here on your backsides and mildew.
I'm sorry.
I know you are a boy and your father's son.
What does that mean?
You have the devil in you and you might as well work it out. I have my currant patch to see to. Be sure to go to Sunday school every Sunday and to say your prayers every night. Try not to cause your mother too much grief. Don't spend all your time watching those movies with people smoking cigarettes. Practice your penmanship so you can write me a letter. Do you think you can do all that?
I'll try.
Practice your penmanship so I can read your letter when I get it. Remember that your grandmother loves you.
I'll remember. I'll remember.
Delina exits. Mom enters carrying lilacs in a vase with a jacket on.
Put this jacket on. There's always a cold wind at the cemetery this time of year.
Why do they call this Decoration Day?
Because this is the day that we decorate the graves.
Do we have to?
I don't know who will if we don't.
I don't want to go out there.
You don't have to. You can stay here.
No, I don't want to stay alone either.
It will be all right. You can go with me and stay in the car, and afterwards we'll go to the Roop Hotel and have a chicken dinner.
I don't want to go to the cemetery.
What do you want to do, Mildew?
That's not funny.
Gotta keep a stiff upper lip.
Well, please don't cry, Mom.
I'm trying not to.
Where do people go when they die?
I don't know. Mother says they go to heaven.
Is that where my father went?
I don't know. I only know that your father left us too soon.
Into that box. Into that hole in the ground. Where is heaven?
I don't know. Stop asking me so many questions and help me carry the lilacs. They're from the bushes that your father planted. He liked them so much.
Mom exits. Kenneth climbs onto the gym.
I went with her. Yes, for another decoration day. I carried some of the lilacs and I helped her put them into those horrible, rusty metal baskets that are stuck down into the dry ground and propped up with rocks. It hurt too much to watch her cry, so I stole one of my father's lilacs. He wouldn't mind. I went over to the grave of Joanne, my classmate, who had appendicitis, and nobody knew what it was. When nobody was looking, I slipped the lilac in between the boards of that old picket fence so that they have there to keep the Catholics away from us Mormons. And I put it on her grave. Joanne's mother saw me and came over. She was crying. She reached over the picket fence and took my hands and smiled. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to yell, "Don't cry, it's all right. Joanne didn't die. What would Jesus want with us, with any of us crying in this cemetery or in the Gem Theater?" But I couldn't say anything. I smiled back at her, but I was starting to cry, so I just backed away and ran over to the irrigation canal and the willows beyond the cemetery and threw sticks into the water. I liked to watch them drift away. They could be ships going who knows where. Or they might be fish that my father and I would catch someday.
High Pockets enters.
Kenny, come here.
Hey, hi, Pockets. Good to see you.
Good to see you, little pal of mine. But I got something to tell you. Something I don't want to tell you. But I best just get right to it. Your dog Jack has been shot.
Shot?
That's right. Gunshot, gut shot, real bad.
Oh, where is he?
Oh, Kenny, I've been looking for you.
I was in the theater behind the speakers.
Something has happened to Jack, honey.
Where is he?
I don't think you should touch him.
Where is he? Is he dead?
No, but he's hurt real bad, and if you touch him, he might bite you. He tried to bite me.
Where is he?
Promise you won't touch him. He crawled in under the Chevy.
Kenneth runs off. Mom talks to High Pockets.
He came up on the porch and cried. I could see that something was wrong with him. I tried to get a look at a bloody spot I could see on his tummy, but he went under the Chevy. I got a blanket out from the back seat and tried to put it down for him, but he almost bit me.
He was doing all you could for him, ma'am.
I took him some water, but he wouldn't touch it. It really vexes me. Why would anybody do a thing like this?
I was over at the post office and I heard Barney Anguin's son say that his dad shot Jack because he was chasing his cows.
Oh, that darn rascal! Darn his hide! Jack has been a good watchdog for us. He took care of Kenny when I was working. Kenny, you better come up from there.
Kenneth enters.
He just looks at me and whimpers. What can I do?
There's nothing you can do, honey.
Can we take him to the doctor?
The nearest doctor is in Evanston.
Let's take him there.
He won't let us pick him up, and he won't stand the trip anyway.
We just have to wait and see what happens.
Okay. I guess I'll just go into the show house.
You do that. I'll watch Jack for you.
Mom and High Pockets exit. Kenneth gets inside the gym.
Okay. Nobody can see me or hear me in the show house. Father in heaven, please don't take Jack away from me. I don't want him to die. We love each other. Are you punishing me because I didn't go to Sunday school? I'll go every Sunday. I will not ask for a bike for Christmas if you'll just let him get better. I don't know enough prayers. I promise I will go to Sunday school and I'll learn lots more prayers if you'll just not make him die. I don't know what else to say. Oh, wait. There's a song I'm learning to play on the piano.
Kenneth sings the melody from the Largo of Dvorak's New World Symphony. It's not all that complicated. It's a simple tune. Da, 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 da. You'll remember it. Then he sits in silence with his head bowed. After a moment of silence, Mom enters.
Come here, Kenneth.
How's Jack?
I'm afraid Jack is gone.
Gone? Where?
Jack died during the night.
No! I don't want him to die. No!
It can't be helped, dear.
Kill me! Kill me!
Now, you listen to me, young man.
I love you, Jack. I want to go with you.
You can't carry on like this. What will High Pockets think of you? Keep a stiff upper lip now.
High Pockets enters.
Morning, little pal of mine. I'm right sorry about this. I'm going to see if I can help you a little bit here. I was out in your backyard with a pick and shovel looking for a final resting place for Jack. And your neighbor, Frank Jensen, come up to me and told me how sorry he was about all this and that maybe he could help. Him and his brother was digging a new hole for their outhouse right on the edge of the property. It's only about halfway dug, and he says it would make a fine grave for Jack. I think that was right neighborly of him, don't you?
Why, yes. That is sweet of Frank. Don't you think so, honey? Jack will be right out here. Thank you, High Pockets, for taking care of Jack for us.
Kenneth takes his stiff upper lip with him back inside the gym.
Jack was a good dog. I'll certainly miss him. Some of the boys are right upset about this. They don't think Barney Anguin should get off scot-free. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to even things out some.
High Pockets and Mom exit.
Oh man, on a wing and a prayer.
Kenneth climbs to the top of the gym and looks off stage.
The very next day, I was up on the roof, looking out over Lyman, and I saw the Anguin's dog, big, white, fluffy, happy, all over blood, lying on the steps of the post office. Johnny Anguin was sitting with him. It looked like he was crying. It looked like Happy had his throat cut. Oh, Jack, Jack, Jack. I didn't want any of this. I found refuge in the Gem Theater. The newsreel showed more killing, but it looked like we were winning the war. Things were looking up in Lyman. Maybe my teacher's fighter pilot husband would get to come home alive. I wrote a patriotic poem about the war, and the teacher hand-printed it in large letters on the blackboard and left it there a long time. Mom spruced up the theater. We got new carpets, and she taught me how to vacuum with a new vacuum that lighted up the carpets as I pushed it. It was fun. Mom bought new projectors and put new lights on the walls of the theater. They were a beautiful purple glass. I was very proud of our Gem Theater, and Mom said I should learn how to run the projectors.
Mom enters with a file of papers.
This old town, this darn old town, it finally beat us.
We were snuggled down with the sparrows, safe in our wee little nest.
Will you stop talking to yourself and listen to me for a minute? It's time we left Lyman, Kenneth.
Leave? Why?
We lost the theater. The bank owns the theater now.
Did they buy it?
No, they took it.
Can they do that?
Yes, they were very clever. They talked me into remodeling the theater. It's looking kind of shabby, they said. They were happy to loan me money to remodel it and buy new equipment. And when I had this big mortgage to pay back, they opened a new theater over in Mountain View. They split up our audience so neither of us could make a living. I couldn't pay on the mortgage, so they foreclosed.
Why?
It has always rubbed them the wrong way to see a single woman running a business right in their midst. Well, they finally won. I'm going to take all those letters in my desk addressed to Dear Mr. Motion Picture Exhibitor and throw them in the trash can. Then we'll just pack up and go.
Go? Where?
I hear there's an Army supply depot in Ogden that's taken on women laborers. You can stay at the ranch with your Aunt Norma while I'm looking for work.
I can't leave Lyman.
There's nothing left for us to do in Lyman, Kenneth.
Do? Mildew.
That's not funny.
Finally. The movie Fantasia opened at the new theater at that same time. I heard wonderful things about it, but I didn't want to go see it. I am one of the few people in the world who has never seen Fantasia.
Kenneth exits as High Pockets enters.
What is this I heard down at the Speedway Inn that you might be setting out to depart from our fair valley?
You heard right. The bank took our theater away from us.
Damn banks. I hate them. I ain't even been inside of one in ages. Don't trust them. If there's ever anything left of my wages at the end of the month, it goes into my Prince Albert tobacco can that I keep down in a little hidey hole in the lining of my saddlebag. I don't need no bank. You know, I like that song of Woody Guthrie's. I never heard a bank robber who turned a family out of their home.
Woody wrote it, true. You know, High Pockets, you happened along at just the right time. I've been troubled trying to decide what to do with this.
Now, what might that be, fair lady?
Holds up a small bottle of liquor.
It's a bottle of peach brandy. The pharmacist prescribed it for me when I had the nervous breakdown. I had to put it where Mother wouldn't find it. She would have poured it out after giving me a lecture and maybe even a spanking.
Yes, I do recall that little lady damn near threw a conniption fit when prohibition was repealed.
I locked it in a drawer of my desk and forgot about it. I was throwing things away this morning and lo and behold, I found this. It's never been opened. I can't take it to Mother's house and I can't be carrying it all around the state of Utah, or should I say Zion, while I look for work. Mother told me to throw it away, but here you are, to the rescue.
He gives the bottle to High Pockets. He bows gracefully, then twists the cap off.
Thank you, my lady, and I will accept your kind gift on one condition, that you join me in a toast to our wonderful gem theater. Many is the time that I have found refuge from the treacherous elements by ski-daddling in here, getting warm and watching Gene Autry calm the raging storm, making the mean old world all right again. I love that horse of his.
High Pockets takes a swig from the bottle, wipes the neck with his handkerchief, and hands it back to Mom. Pass the bottle and kerchief back and forth.
And here's to Katharine Hepburn. That lady has class. And to Betty Davis. Nobody could push that woman around.
and Nelson Eddy. Give me some men, some stout-hearted men.
And to Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
And here's to Papa the Sailor Man.
To Edward R. Murrow and to Robert Capa and all the newsreel cameramen.
Yes, and speaking of photographers, here's to the best one I ever knew. And the best fisherman, your husband, Kenny's father.
Thank you, High Pockets. I hate to leave him out there with all those rocks and weeds.
Well, I might be of some help in that situation, ma'am. I will look after Jack's grave too. When it's time for me to go, that last roundup in the sky, I will pick a resting spot for myself right next to my fishing buddy, if that's all right with you. And I'll pay one of my friends at the ranch to look after things. One of the boys who owes a debt of gratitude to the gym theater. And then he can pass the work on to one of his buddies, and it'll go like that, perpetual like.
Here's to perpetual like.
Oh, and one more thing. Before I coil up my lariat for the last time, I'm going to tell my boss that my saddlebags are to go to you. Now, when you get them, you just dig down in the lining, find a good old Prince Albert can, and he just might have a surprise for the both of you.
No, High Pockets. You should spend it. I'm sure there are more of these wonderful little flasks at the Speedway Inn. As Mother says, we don't dare let any of it go to waste.
That's for sure. We don't know when the next one might come along.
Yes. Here's to Clark Gable and Vivian Lee and that last scene in Gone with the Wind. Yes, indeedy. It's all gone with the wind now.
It's okay, ma'am. I could shed a tear myself.
I'm not crying. I'm as tough as a boiled owl.
I'll drink to that. Well, I hate to say it, but it looks like that was the end of this here bottle. We better just hightail it down to the Speedway and find another one.
Thanks, High Pockets. But I have to stay here and get supper ready for Kenny. It won't be much, but we've got to have something.
Now you just wait a damn minute. Here, my lady. The both of you's gonna just have supper with me down at the inn. So let's go and find that boy of yours.
Thank you. Here's to High Pockets and the Speedway Inn.
High Pockets and Mom exit as Kenneth enters from the opposite side.
That was the end of it. We left Lyman. I couldn't believe it. I pretended I wasn't really leaving, that I was just going to a ranch for a vacation. Aunt Norma was a second mother to me, and my Uncle Elijah taught me how to take care of the cows, pigs, and sheep. I wanted to help my grandmother in her garden, but the fences had fallen down and the cows had eaten almost everything. I wanted to help her pick currants, but most of the bushes had died. We managed to pick the last handful.
Delina enters with her hands cupped together, holding currants.
Thank you, Kenneth. I will make a delicious jelly out of those currants. My, how big you are now.
Oh, I don't know. You've gotten smaller.
Do you know what I heard, Kenneth? A little bird told me that you are smoking cigarettes now. Is that true?
Who told you that?
Just a little bird.
Ah, yes, our sparrow. Do you still recite the poem, "Oh, the north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow, and what will poor birdie do then, poor thing?"
Now, don't you change the subject. The word of wisdom was given to us to protect our minds and our bodies. We do detriment to our own bodies if we disobey. Look at me. I am 94 years old and I still prepare my own meals. I observe the word of wisdom and the dietary rules set down for us in the Old Testament. Your mother used to laugh at me for not eating pork, but the Lord said that we should not partake of the animal with the cloven hoof, and the pig has a cloven hoof. You've noticed that, haven't you?
No.
Well, the next time you're feeding the pigs, take a good look. The cloven hoof is the hoof of the devil, and the pig is a beast of the devil. Your mother made fun of me because I would not partake of a cake that she had baked with lard. Now look who has stomach trouble. It is your mother, not me.
Yeah, it's her nerves.
Yeah?
We lost the Gem Theater.
Good riddance to bad rubbish. Just obey the word of wisdom. This is what I have for supper.
She pantomimes stirring a small pan with a spoon.
These are peas from my garden, no butter. Hardly enough to keep a bird alive, your mother says. What do you think, eh?
I can't tell you what I think.
Why don't you go pick some crab apples? You like to climb the crab apple tree and get the ripest ones, you little scallywag.
Grandmother, I'm not 10 years old.
What's that?
It's hard to know when to look at you, when to remember you. There was so much time for us together. I like the way you dress. You're such a dainty woman.
It's all right. Go get some crab apples.
I don't want any crab apples.
Well, maybe I will want some before I go to bed.
There aren't any out there. The cows ate them.
Very well. I will go get them. The cows will jump over the fence and have them for breakfast if we don't beat them to it. I'll just fetch my wrap.
No, Grandma. I'll go. I hate to come out here now. Yeah, I hate to come out here now. Boy, it used to be so pretty. But now you stumble around in your old shawl, fussing about the fences and the cows, about wasting nutriments. You fall and you prick your finger, not while darning my sock, but on a thistle. And you say, darn it. For all that, you only find remnants, 5 or 6 little red currants for your breakfast. I guess you are about as tough as my shot in the gut dog. Where did you go, Jack?
You better come into the house now, Kenneth.
Okay.
They'll be bringing your grandmother's casket soon. Oh, I'm so tired. She fought the sickness for so long. Such a strong woman. Your uncles want you to prepare and read her history for her funeral. You'll have to sort through the papers. You won't be able to use most of them, but you should be able to cull out a short history. Can you do that for me?
Yes, you should rest. Let's have a cup of tea.
I've got to see if things are ready in the parlor. Looks so strange, that awful metal stand set up for her in her own parlor.
She exits. Kenneth goes behind the planks and opens the box of papers.
Her blood on the box. Look at that, Jack. Such clear penmanship. My dainty Mormon grandmother.
He takes a pen and paper from the box and begins writing.
I wonder if she left these here for me to use now. So self-sufficient. My grandmother was born February 16th, 1863.
He looks at what he has written, but throws the pen down.
Penmanship. It's too late. What can I do right? I cannot walk upon the waters, grandmother. I cannot. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I stopped smoking. And I am writing. My penmanship is still awful, but I have a typewriter now. It's not genealogy, but pretty close. Hope you wouldn't be offended.
Alonzo enters, wearing the same hat and shirt as in the first scene. He stands behind Kenneth.
Are you still apologizing?
What else can I do?
Kenneth,
No matter how alone you
sure
feel,
Kenneth can see him.
no matter how alone you feel, you are still in my show house.
Father?
Kenneth,
What are you doing here?
this is my show house, ain't it?
But you went away. They took you away in that awful box.
Alonzo slams the coffee pot down on the planks and pushes the genealogical papers aside.
Wait, what are you doing?
Are you going to tell me how to run my own show house, how to live in my own meadow? Take a look at my secret meadow.
Is this where you've been?
Yep,
You were here all the time?
that's right. Nice, ain't it?
Beautiful.
This is the meadow that I told you about on that other day when I took our picture, this secret meadow that I discovered in the high Tenia Mountains.
I don't know what to say.
For once. I love you as you are, Kenneth. I only want to hear you say that you love me.
I want to say it, but I can't.
Why not?
You went into that cemetery.
That's a damn poor excuse.
And I'm afraid.
What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid that if I say those words about love, you will go back into that box and I'll lose you forever.
No, Kenneth, love doesn't do that. It is the way we stay together.
I wish I could believe you.
It's okay. Help me with this.
Alonzo and Kenneth remove the planks from the sawhorses. Alonzo picks up his camera.
You still have your portrait camera?
Yes,
And the magic bulb?
and the magic bulb.
Still makes the world blossom?
Still makes the world blossom. I'm going to take another picture of us here, now.
Alonzo puts the camera high up on the gym. He and Kenneth make a seesaw out of a plank and a sawhorse. They each get on an end and begin to seesaw.
Up, down, higher, up,
Up,
down, higher.
down.
So you see, saw, up is down is up,
Up,
forever.
always. I won't try to hide from you again.
Up. Say it. Here we are.
I love you, Father.
I love you, Kenneth. Hold it.
Alonzo holds the bulb in one hand. They freeze, arms extended to each other from the seesaw. Alonzo squeezes the bulb. There's a flash of light. They hold the pose for a second. Blackout.
Wonderful. I'd like to invite all our actors to unmute their video for a virtual bow, including our wonderful playwright, Kenneth Jenks, whose play this is based on. And thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to the actors for your time and your talents. And thank you, Kenneth, for sharing your history and creating this. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope to catch you next weekend. Bye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.